What is the science behind dental implants? Tens of millions of people have benefited from dental implants. I am one of them. I have a dental implant. And really, the debate is not whether they work, because they do. They are very successful. But in the last couple of years, scientists have started asking a new question. Not just do they stay in the job, but what else do they do in the body? Now, those questions are very different from one another, and it's really important in time that we start asking, what do they do? This is an interesting question because really the bottom line or foundation of dental implants has been something called osseointegration, meaning does bone actually grow to the dental implant? Does it become secure? Can you start chewing with it? And that has been kind of the low level bar that we've all been reaching for as dentists. Yes, they integrate to your bone. But the next thing we have to say is, are they biocompatible? Well, the definition of biocompatibility is simply that they do no harm. Titanium dental implants also qualify there. They do no harm. But that doesn't mean that they don't do something biologically. And that's where we're going to start researching and talking about. Now, everything that I tell you today is backed by research studies that are peer-reviewed. They're the right kind of research that we should be paying attention to. You're going to be able to see documentation down below about everything that I'm talking about because we need to really understand what we're choosing and what it might mean for us when we're choosing a titanium dental implant. And do we have options to that? So let's get into this. By the end of this, you're going to understand what a dental implant does in your body and what questions you should be asking your dentist. All right, the first thing we really need to address is particles of titanium in places that they shouldn't be. So, researchers from the University of Gothenburg in 2025 did a study that looked at the tissue or the gums around dental implants. And they were specifically looking to see, were there titanium particles embedded in that tissue? And what they found was yes, pretty much across the board, every single sample had titanium in the gum tissue around the implants. This was both implants that had been successful, they were osseointegrated, they were holding their own, and those that had actually failed. Titanium was in the tissues around all of them. Where is this titanium coming from? Well, a couple of sources. The first makes a little bit of sense as we're, just undergoing wear and tear with a dental implant. We're chewing it, we're brushing, all of those kinds of things. They do bring titanium particles off of that dental implant. But the second one we may not understand. It's called corrosion. Now, corrosion happens with something that's conductive, so a metal is in the presence of an acid that has different minerals, which changes the acid-base balance in the mouth. That's exactly what a dental implant is. It's metal if it's titanium, and it's in a very changing liquid environment. The saliva is very acidic at times, depending on what we're eating. It alkalizes more, bringing minerals back between meals. So you have this constant fluctuation, and titanium does conduct electricity. It's metal. So you get little tiny particles breaking off through this corrosive effect of the metal with a changing acid-base environment. It's the perfect medium. It's hot, it's wet, it's acidic, there's bacteria living there. Bacteria do some of this work too. So all of this leaves particles in the tissues. Doesn't matter. Well, this is the interesting piece. Researchers don't know if it matters or not because they found particles even in gum tissue that looked okay. It wasn't inflamed, there wasn't a problem. They were just sampling to see were there particles there, and they were. So really, they're looking to say it doesn't appear to affect the local situation, but is it affecting on a greater level? And that's really where the research is catching up now. So I want you to imagine your immune system as a group of security guards. They're there to defend you all the time. And really, most of the time, there might not be things they have to defend, we hope, right? So they're standing down, they're just waiting. But when something comes that signals an alarm, they may send up alarms, they may be armed, they may actually go to the scene to see if they can neutralize or take care of whatever's happening. That's exactly what happens with your immune system as well. As soon as it sees these titanium particles, it pays attention. It sends off some alarms, and those alarms are called cytokines. These are chemical signals that the body shoots off when something concerning is there. Now, when those alarms go off, all of the workers in the area start to act a little differently. So there's certain cell types that come to places that take care of garbage. They clean things up, they destroy some things in the process of the cleanup, and those are all triggered by those cytokine alarms. So the problem is that even in what appears to be healthy tissue, you still have alarms going off nonstop because those particles are there. And anything in the body that is foreign is going to set off an alarm. So, yes, this does create an immune response. Does it matter? Again, the next question, does it matter? Again, we don't know for sure because in the lab, we can see all of the cytokines, we can see all the alarms. But is the body capable of taking care of those and turning off the alarm before it creates any damage? That is really where the questions start because what may be good for one person may very well not be good for another, depending on the strength of their immune system, how active their immune system already is because of other insult in the body, how capable the immune system is to take care of problems, the resources available. All of us have different abilities to take care of ourselves and to deal with situations based on the other things that are going on in our bodies. So I may be completely fine with my titanium dental implant where you may not be because of other underlying conditions that your body is currently dealing with. This is why it's hard to give a hard and fast rule, but we can say with surety that every single implant has foreign bodies embedded in the tissue around, and it does create an immune reaction. Here's the piece that actually has me quite concerned. When researchers studied, do those particles stay put? They found the answer was no. And really, this is just your immune system doing its job. When the immune system finds something foreign in the body, its job is to go and get a hold of it, clean it up, and get rid of it. So, what researchers found is titanium particles are now embedded in lymph nodes and lymphatic tissue. Well, that's the immune system doing its job, grabbing it from one place and trying to get rid of it. So that also means those titanium particles are traveling other places. They are being found in the bloodstream. They are being found in other distant organs and lymphatic tissues. Does this mean that you are now having titanium embedded all over your body and it's going to create a problem? Research is still not convinced about this, but they know that it travels. They know that your immune system is working to get rid of it. These are all signs to me this is something the body doesn't want. It really is trying to dump it. Now, sometimes this shows up as peri-implantitis. What does that mean? Well, that is gum disease around an implant. Just like around a tooth, you can get periodontitis or inflammation of the gums and the bone. You can get the exact same thing around a dental implant. And they call it peri-implantitis, basically inflammation in the bone and the gum around an implant. It will show up as redness, as swelling, a lot of things, bleeding gums, and it's not necessarily just due to bacteria. Oftentimes, we as dentists like to blame it on you as the patient. We say, well, you're just not doing a good enough job cleaning that. Well, we're finding that that may not always be true either. That peri-implantitis may be because there are particles embedded in the gums that the body doesn't like. It sends its inflammatory or immune system warriors and they start to have battle. The battle looks like bleeding and inflammation and soreness around an implant. So we see this there. We also see issues of sensitivity. Now, a true allergy to titanium is quite rare, but a sensitivity is more common. What that is simply the body saying, I just don't really like this, and I'm going to be more sensitive, especially if you have a lot of that already in your system, a lot of metal somewhere else in the body. So let's really get down to the bottom line of do we have an option here? The answer is yes. Zirconia is also a little controversial because if you look on the periodic table, it's right next to titanium. So people will say it's a metal as well. But that's not true. It's actually an oxide of the metal. The metal is zirconium. Zirconia is an oxide. What this means is it's no longer conductive. So we just learned that conductivity leads to corrosion, right? To particle release. It's not conductive, so it doesn't corrode. It's tooth colored. It doesn't have the same abrasive problem, meaning we can't brush it off as easily. And we're actually finding that bacteria may not stick to it as easily as titanium. A lot of the titanium dental implants have extra little kind of lumps and rough surfaces on the outside so that the bone can grow. But that also gives a place for bacteria to hold on to. Zirconia don't have that extra added surface texture, so the bacteria don't stick to them as easily. So, is it a foreign object? Absolutely. Is there a potential immune reaction? Absolutely. However, what research is finding is that it is much reduced from what we see around titanium. We're not seeing zirconia particles in the tissues around the dental implant. So, again, jury's still out. There are less years that we've researched zirconia implants. So, let's give a summary here. Really, the science is telling us that what we've always said about titanium implants is true. They work. They integrate with the bone. You're able to chew with them, and they're there for a long time. I've had my titanium implant for a couple of decades. But research is also showing that they're not completely inert, meaning the body knows they're there and doesn't always love them. Titanium particles are being broken off through corrosion, through wear and tear. That's leading to an immune response in the body. In some bodies it matters, in some bodies it doesn't seem to right now. There are options. Zirconia is an option that has no corrosion, less wear and tear, more biocompatibility by definition. So what do you do? How do you take all of this information and make a decision? Really, this is a personal decision. It's something that needs to be considered in the entirety of you. Are you healthy? Are your gums already inflamed or infected? Is there already an infection going on? Or is your body able to keep itself well? Do you have good nutritional levels? Are you willing to supplement to make sure that your body stays on top of its immune system and stays strong? All of these things are very personal, but it's important that you now understand that that titanium doesn't just sit there and do nothing. It does affect you. These are the conversations you need to have with your dentist. This isn't about scare tactics or hype or trying to sell something. It's about really understanding what does your body do when we put something foreign in it and what is the best choice for you. Hopefully this information has been helpful and it helps you to make better decisions for yourself. Please keep checking in here, subscribe, and let us know what you liked about this video. Send it to others if they need to hear it as well, and we'll keep it coming because my mission is to help you live well.